balling to my very last breath. I'm balling to my very last breath.
We're back, everybody. What's up,
We're
Chuck? How you doing?
back.
We're back.
The
What do we got today, bud? What do we got?
Hawks, holy shit. Juicy offseason. Schneider
Dude.
does it again, as always.
A lot of big moves. Still some pieces needed, though, for sure. I definitely think we should both give a grade on the offseason moves and then also give a grade on current roster status. First of all, I love the moves they've made, and I like that they're actually making big moves, going after big names, spending some money, but still a lot of money to be spent and a lot of draft capital. So how do you think they address this moving forward into the draft? And then also, what do you think about the new free agent signings? Let's start there.
I think what they did was they got a lot of the same players to fit the scheme that they want to run, and they got them at value. Like, instead of maintaining DK Metcalf for $30 million a year, you basically trade DK Metcalf for a third-round pick and Cooper Kupp, which is half the money.
Yeah, exactly. Save money on that pick right there, and then also Kupp fits well into the new scheme. A lot of people are hating on the fact that we have two slot guys, but our new OC coming in has always worked well with two slot guys. Smith and Jigba can bump out to the Z, and like I said, we have a lot of draft capital, so there's possibility we go after another guy, second or third round. But I really think Kupp and Jigba are both guys very capable of playing inside and out. So I personally love it, and I love the aspect of the Rams getting rid of Kupp, and then us going and getting him, picking him in the same division. I think it's a big fuck you to the Rams, and I think it shows we're here to compete. We spent some money on him too, so I love the move. It shows we're willing to be competitive and be competitive now, which I'm a huge fan of that. If Kupp goes off, has another career season, the Rams look stupid, and I just think it's BDE, man. It's big energy.
I love it
for sure. So
and the Darnold signing, like, God, I'm a huge fan of that. I think he's you got Geno at 32 or Sam Darnold at 27 years old in the heat of his prime. You got him cheaper, and the way the contract is structured, we can get out of this deal in 1 year if things aren't panning out.
Yeah, if it falls apart year one, we can move on from it. I would like to see the Hawks draft a QB, maybe second or third round, maybe first if somebody slides, and you can kind of develop him a little bit behind Darnold. But like you said, even if they don't do that and it doesn't go well, boom, we can get out of it, move on, find somebody next year. It's a beautiful move. I love what they're doing. Crazy thing is they have the cheapest offense in the NFL right now. They have the least money into it, which is a good thing from a cap standpoint, but also it kind of shows how we're not spending a whole lot on the O-line. Would have liked to have seen them sign an O-lineman. I know they got one guy from the Bears. Would have liked to have seen them spend a little bit more, but we'll see what they do with the draft. They might go very heavy there. I'd really like to see that. So I think with Kupp, Darnold, and DeMarcus Lawrence, I love the moves. I love that they were aggressive and spent money. I think I'll give the moves, the offseason moves for them, a B. I think it was very solid, but right now I think overall roster grade, I'm going to give a C+, because I do think it's around the same team, maybe slightly better. Need to see that O-line get bulked up in the draft. So I give their current roster like a C+ and the moves a B. So what would you give for a grade on those two categories?
I think we're approaching it close to a B- B on an overall grade on team.
Yeah.
I think the way we finished on defense last year was phenomenal.
Yeah, we re-signed Ernest Jones too.
Which was huge. That was a sneaky signing that is massive.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only move that I'd give a C+ was the DeMarcus Lawrence move. I don't love it for a 32-year-old, but when you have the depth at D-end and D-line that we do, you can make that luxury move to have a guy that you can come in and he doesn't have to play every snap, and he can wreak havoc off the end. So that one's a big, can he stay healthy? How good does he look? I'm sure he must be looking good if they're confident enough to give him the money they did.
Yeah, I like how you called it a luxury move, which is true. I mean, it's not like it was a dire need, I don't think. But they went out and got a guy. They spent some money. They showed us, the fan base, that they care. They showed that they're willing to be competitive in the division. And I think that also you got to look at Kupp. There's also a little bit of worry there with the injury thing. So that, I think, like you said, brings into some question. I think it's a similar move to Kupp. I do think Kupp is really in a position where they're relying on him to come in and be a playmaker. I think Lawrence has more value in the sense that he's there and he's going to mentor those young D linemen. We have a lot of
Absolutely.
good prospects already on the team. So I like it from that standpoint. I don't know what we're going to get from him on the field, but helping out guys like Nwosu and Byron Murphy and other guys on the defense, those young guys, just mindset wise, I think that's going to be huge. I mean, Parsons developed well on the same team as him, so you got to think that he's really helpful to those young guys. Big thing with Kupp though is the same thing. He's got to stay healthy. Another reason I like the move though is he's coming back to his home state, a place where he can be happy. They paid him what he was asking. He wanted 45 million, and he got that 15 million a year. So they pretty much paid his top dollar, and I think that if he is going to stay healthy and make a bounce back on that end, being in a place where he's happy and the whole homecoming thing, that's a huge part of getting physically healthy is your mental healthness as well. So I like that for Cup a lot.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
We'll see. We'll see though. The guy, as long as the guy stays healthy, it looks like a genius move.
No, it looks great to me. And you can't hate the value they got him for.
Right.
You know, he's getting paid like what wide receiver twos are getting paid.
Yeah.
That's what the market is. And I mean, if he's healthy, he's one of the best in the league at what he does as far as getting open, route running, yards after catch.
He can block. He can block too, and we know that Seattle likes to run the ball too. So,
and I think his game, the way he plays the game, will allow him, given good health, will allow him to play into his 30s at a high level.
I do too. I think it's just a matter of getting with the right people, and again, who knows? Maybe I mean he's a Yakima boy, kind of a small town Washington boy, so maybe the LA thing was wearing on him over time, and mental health is a huge part of physical health too. So hopefully he has a huge resurgence. I feel it coming. I'm confident in it, and you and I had talked about it weeks leading up to it. We were really pushing that, hoping it would go through. I put a tweet out a couple days before he signed, just like trying to manifest that to happen, and I'm stoked about it. I think it was not only I think it was a good move for the Seahawks, but I think it was the best move for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, no, all around great move. No, I'm excited to see where this goes. Big. I mean, it goes to say with every team, but given good health, I think we got a real shot.
Yeah, I do too. Got to bulk up that O-line. Back to your point.
Picks to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully they invest. I mean, I was talking to Connor, and he's like, I wouldn't be mad if we drafted the whole draft just O-lineman. Like, you don't want to do that, but I mean, well, I think we have. Do we have 2 first-round picks?
We have a first-round pick, 2 seconds.
2 second-rounders, yeah. So I wouldn't mind first 2 or both second-rounders going to an O-lineman. I think there's a lot of skilled guys in this draft. So if somebody like Gene T falls to us, or maybe like a Dart, you go and get him at 18.
A guy I would really like to see it, and we'll have to see where his valuation is come draft time, but I'd love to see Igbuka come from Ohio State. Join forces again with JSN, and he's a local Seattle boy.
Oh, he is, really?
He was originally committed to UW and then decommitted and went to Ohio State. So I think that would be a homecoming for him as well. It'd be exciting to see him back with his running mate from college.
Yeah, we're going to get into the draft and all of our predictions with that in another episode, but I do agree with you. I think if somebody super talented slides in the first round, you take best available talent because a lot of those guys are once in a lifetime. But I mean, with our 2 second-round picks, I believe we have 2 third-rounders or maybe 2 fourth-rounders. I know we have the most top 100 picks. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind them investing heavily in the O-line.
Yeah, totally agree.
That'd be great. But back to your point about Kupp being paid like a wide receiver 2, Darius Slayton just got $40 million from the Giants on a 3-year deal. So similar deal to what we paid Kupp.
And what is he? What is he skill-wise?
He's like a 2 or 3, but it's crazy because the Giants lost Barkley because they wouldn't pay him $2 million less than that on a 3-year deal. So it's like, I'm not sure what the Giants are doing. Hopefully Russell Wilson turns out for him. I'm rooting for Russ because he had a good year last year.
Marshmallows and Dragons over in New York.
Really was a missing piece for the Eagles. And he wanted $2 million less than what Slayton got this year, and they paid Slayton that. Maybe they're trying to make up for not paying guys, but I just don't see Slayton as being that impactful.
Oh, that's an embarrassing recovery. That's an embarrassing recovery.
I thought it was wild to see that, man. But I mean, running backs have a short shelf life, but the years that they are healthy, I believe Barkley's still in his late 20s, maybe his early 30s. That's still in the prime for those guys. So
Look at the playoff teams. What they have, they had a good run game.
yeah, and
And most of them had star running backs. So I
yeah,
think we're seeing the tides turn, and I think you're gonna, because there's a period of time where the running back wasn't getting paid. I think last year was especially prominent in proving that point where it's like, nope, having a good running back does make a huge difference.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Lions of the year, I know they left early. They had two great running backs. Obviously, the Eagles. And look at the Chiefs, where they kind of got beat up in the Super Bowl. You'd have to think they may be considering addressing that part because it doesn't come off as a threat, and they were able to jump every pass play.
Yeah.
They got smothered by the Eagles, and it's pretty obvious when you're going to pass the ball 44 times or whatever it was. It makes it easier on defenses. So that I mean, it might be changing a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it might be changing. Me and Connor Boy are fired up about that for sure.
Let's go. All right. Thanks as always, folks. We'll be
Yep.
back soon with our take on the draft season here.
Next week, NFL draft. Tune in.
Great to be back.
Peace out.
Bought me a yacht, I keep me a knot. Still sipping that syrup, might front you a block. I'm ballin' to my very last breath. I'm ballin' to my very last breath.